Now to an Eyewitness News investigation into what's essentially becoming homeless encampments on wheels. So-called van lords are renting out RVs to people who are now using them as their permanent residence.
A luxury RV lot overrun by squatters, trash piling up, trailers burning, and safety concerns growing.
Across the country, a silent collapse is unfolding. RVs now fill neighborhoods where homes once stood. Families with jobs, seniors, and veterans are being forced into vehicles, and the same laws meant to protect them are destroying what little they have left. This is the reality America doesn't want to face. In 2025, RV living has transformed from a lifestyle choice into a desperate survival strategy for millions of Americans. The housing market continues experiencing fallout from years of explosive rent growth, with some cities reporting increases of 30 to 60% since 2020. More than 3.5 million people now live in vehicles, the highest number ever recorded in U.S. history. RVs, once symbols of retirement freedom and adventure, have become emergency shelters for working-class families, single parents, and college students who simply cannot compete with soaring rental costs. In cities like Phoenix, San Diego, and Denver, studio apartments routinely exceed $1,800 to $2,200 monthly, pushing people into RVs just to avoid complete homelessness. Many vehicle dwellers hold steady employment, working 40 to 60 hours weekly, yet still cannot secure traditional housing. RV life is no longer an inexpensive escape. It's the only available option. In several cities, waitlists for low-income housing exceed 5 years, meaning immediate relief doesn't exist. RVs serve as the bridge, but for many, that bridge is becoming permanent. With housing inflation continuing to rise and incomes failing to keep pace, experts warn that vehicle dweller numbers could jump another 20 to 25% by year's end. As RV homelessness expands nationwide, cities are responding with aggressive enforcement instead of compassionate support. In 2025, over 200 U.S. cities have introduced new anti-parking, anti-camping, or vehicle habitation laws designed to push RV residents out of public view. The result is constant displacement and instability. Cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and San Francisco now issue over 50,000 citations annually for sleeping in vehicles. Some neighborhoods have installed metal barricades, giant boulders, and restricted parking zones to prevent RVs from stopping even for a few hours. In Portland, police conduct sweeps almost weekly, removing entire rows of parked RVs and giving residents as little as 24 hours to relocate. The fundamental problem remains. There's nowhere legal to go. Campgrounds are full, industrial zones are unsafe, and residential areas call police instantly. The crackdown isn't about moving RVs. It's about removing them entirely. Cities justify these actions as cleanup operations, but for residents, it means losing stability, losing community, and living in constant fear. In 2025 alone, enforcement budgets exceeded $150 million nationwide, showing how cities prioritize removal over actual solutions. This chase-them-out strategy doesn't reduce homelessness. It only pushes people deeper into crisis. One of the harshest realities in 2025 is the growing number of states allowing police to seize RVs used as primary residences. Under new nuisance and vehicle habitation laws, enforcement officers can legally declare an RV unsafe, abandoned, or illegally parked, even if the owner is actively living inside. Once tagged, the RV can be towed within 72 hours, though some cities have reduced that window to 24 hours or even immediate removal in designated safety zones. The biggest challenge is cost. Retrieving a towed RV can cost $1,200 to $3,500 depending on the city, and many impound lots require proof of insurance and registration before release. For someone already living on the financial edge, one tow essentially becomes a complete eviction. In 2024, Los Angeles alone impounded over 2,200 inhabited vehicles, and that number is rising sharply in 2025 as more states adopt similar laws. Once seized, RVs can be auctioned after 15 to 30 days, meaning families permanently lose everything: clothing, documents, medications, and irreplaceable sentimental possessions. Critics argue this criminalizes poverty, but cities defend it as public safety. The truth? Losing an RV means losing a home, and in 2025, a single citation can erase someone's entire life instantly. High fuel costs are worsening the RV homelessness crisis in ways most people don't see. In 2025, national gas prices are averaging $4.10 to $4.60 per gallon, with diesel often exceeding $5.50 in western states. For people living in RVs, mobility used to be their greatest advantage, driving to warmer climates, safer areas, or legal parking zones. But at today's prices, moving even 20 to 30 miles can cost more than many can afford. A typical Class C RV gets 8 to 12 miles per gallon, meaning a simple relocation across the city may require $50 to $80 in fuel. For those living on fixed income, part-time work, or disability payments, that's impossible. As a result, people become stuck in unsafe or illegal parking stretches, knowing they'll be ticketed but unable to leave. Many RVs are also older models needing constant repairs, and when someone cannot drive the vehicle, police can label it inoperable and tow it immediately. In 2025, more than 40% of vehicle dwellers report that fuel costs have severely limited their ability to move. When you cannot afford to relocate, you lose control of your safety, your environment, and your ability to find stable work, feeding the cycle of homelessness even further. Campgrounds, once affordable alternatives to traditional housing, are now completely overwhelmed. In 2025, RV parks across the U.S. report 90 to 100% occupancy rates, especially in states with large homeless populations like California, Arizona, Colorado, and Florida. During the pandemic, many parks shifted toward high-end amenities, driving prices up dramatically. A site that cost $30 to $40 per night in 2018 often costs $70 to $120 today. Long-term stays, once a lifeline for low-income RV residents, are disappearing as parks shift toward tourism revenue. Many parks now enforce the 10-year rule, refusing RVs older than a decade regardless of condition. This instantly excludes the majority of RV homeless, who typically live in older rigs worth less than $5,000. Even state parks have wait lists, stretching months, forcing people into unsafe and illegal urban parking zones. Private parks, facing high demand, require background checks, deposits, and proof of employment, pushing even more people out. The overcrowding is so severe that some regions have seen 50 to 70 unauthorized RVs lining public roads near campgrounds. What was supposed to be a place of rest has become a luxury, and those who truly need affordable stays are the ones priced out most. For RV residents in 2025, nighttime is the most dangerous part of the day. As more people are forced to live in vehicles, crime surrounding RV clusters has surged dramatically. Police data from multiple cities show a 35 to 60% increase in break-ins targeting RVs since 2022. Thieves know that RV doors are thin, locks are weak, and residents often have valuables inside such as tools, electronics, and cash. In Phoenix and Las Vegas, reports of armed confrontations inside RV camps have tripled. Women living alone face even higher risks, with advocacy groups reporting a 70% increase in harassment reports from vehicle dwellers. Many RV homeless sleep with one ear open or rotate night schedules because they don't feel safe closing their eyes. Public lighting is poor in industrial zones and roadside areas where RVs often gather, and emergency response times can exceed 12 to 16 minutes in some cities. Fire hazards are another growing threat, as aging propane systems and makeshift heating sources have caused several deadly RV fires, some spreading to nearby vehicles. In 2025 alone, West Coast fire departments have responded to more than 1,000 RV fire calls. With limited legal parking, no campground security, and rising desperation in many areas, nighttime has become a daily battle for survival. The fastest growing segment of the RV homeless population in 2025 is families with children. According to national homelessness surveys, the number of minors living in vehicles has increased by over 30% in the past 2 years. In states like Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and California, school districts now report thousands of students listing vehicle or RV as their primary residence. Many of these families have one or two working adults who simply cannot afford rent that has jumped to $2,400 to $3,000 for a basic 2-bedroom apartment. With shelters often full and hotels far too expensive, RVs become the only option that allows parents to keep custody of their children and maintain some form of privacy. But the challenges are enormous. Kids do homework in cramped spaces, sleep in freezing temperatures, and often lack access to showers or stable internet. Medical needs go unaddressed because constant movement disrupts appointments. Parks require children to be registered as guests for long-term stays, and some deny entry to families entirely. Social workers warn that 2025 may be the first year where over 1 million children live in vehicles nationwide if trends continue. These families aren't choosing adventure. They're trying to survive a housing market that has completely outpaced wages. Instead of investing in long-term solutions, many cities are spending staggering amounts of money towing and impounding RVs. In 2025, U.S. municipalities collectively spent over $180 million on cleanup operations, towing, storage, and enforcement actions related to vehicle dwellers. Los Angeles alone spent nearly $14 million last year removing nuisance RVs, while Seattle allocated over $6 million to similar operations. Yet the number of RV homeless individuals continues to rise, proving enforcement does not reduce homelessness. It only shuffles it from one neighborhood to another. Each sweep costs thousands of dollars in labor, equipment, and hazardous waste disposal, but provides no alternative housing. Meanwhile, programs that offer rental assistance or transitional housing often receive only a fraction of that funding. For example, one West Coast city spent $9 million on towing RVs, but only $1.8 million on housing vouchers. The imbalance is so extreme that some city officials admit privately that enforcement is symbolic, done to satisfy upset homeowners rather than to help the homeless. Critics argue that just a quarter of this budget, roughly $45 million, could fund thousands of micro-shelters or safe parking zones. Instead, cities continue the cycle of removal, towing, and relocation, leaving families trapped in a system designed to fail. For people living in RVs, a mechanical breakdown isn't just inconvenient, it's catastrophic. An engine failure, transmission issue, or even a flat tire can instantly turn someone's only home into an immobile target for towing. In 2025, the average cost to repair a major RV component ranges from $2,500 to $7,000, far beyond what most RV residents can afford. Even routine repairs like brakes or cooling systems can cost $800 to $1,200, which is devastating for people living paycheck to paycheck. Cities often classify non-running RVs as abandoned or hazardous, allowing removal within 24 to 72 hours. Once towed, retrieving the vehicle can cost an additional $1,200 to $3,500, plus daily storage fees of $50 to $120, making recovery nearly impossible. In many cases, residents lose not only their RV, but everything inside it: documents, clothing, food, medication, and personal belongings. A breakdown also prevents people from moving to safer areas or accessing work, creating a domino effect that leads to job loss and deeper financial collapse. Studies show that over 40% of RV residents who lose their vehicles never recover them, forcing them into tents, shelters, or the street. A simple mechanical issue becomes a full eviction from life as they knew it. The 10-year rule has become one of the most harmful policies affecting RV homeless individuals in 2025. Many RV parks refuse entry to any rig older than 10 years, regardless of maintenance or condition. Since a large percentage of people living in RVs own older units, often 1990s or early 2000s models valued under $5,000, this rule instantly excludes them from most private campgrounds. Additionally, many parks have stopped accepting long-term stays due to rising tourism demand. Instead of offering monthly rates, they prioritize short-term vacationers willing to pay $80 to $150 per night. This creates a situation where the people who need stability the most cannot access it. Some parks now require background checks, proof of income, credit scores above 650, or even references, which many RV homeless simply cannot provide. As a result, thousands end up parking in industrial zones, empty lots, or roadside shoulders. Even state and federal campgrounds are implementing stricter stay limits due to overcrowding, forcing constant movement. Combined with high fuel prices and strict city enforcement, the rejection from campgrounds pushes RV residents further into unsafe and illegal areas. The system removes legal options while offering no alternatives, leaving vulnerable people with nowhere to go. Living in an RV long-term poses serious health risks that often go unnoticed. In 2025, medical clinics in urban areas report a rising number of cases linked to poor living conditions inside vehicles. Many RV homeless individuals rely on makeshift heating such as propane heaters, exposed wiring, or portable stoves. leading to increased risks of carbon monoxide poisoning. Fire departments across the West Coast responded to over 1,000 RV fires last year, many caused by unsafe heating setups. Poor ventilation contributes to mold growth, which can lead to respiratory infections, asthma flare-ups, and chronic cough. Limited access to clean water causes hygiene issues and increases the spread of skin infections like cellulitis. In hot states like Arizona and Nevada, internal RV temperatures can exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, creating life-threatening heat exposure for elderly residents and children. Refrigeration failures lead to spoiled food, which contributes to gastrointestinal illness. Mental health declines rapidly in cramped, unstable living conditions, with studies showing a 50% increase in anxiety and depression among vehicle dwellers. Without consistent access to healthcare, small medical issues escalate into emergencies. These hidden health risks are rarely discussed, yet they affect every aspect of life for the millions of Americans now living in RVs. As RV homelessness spreads into suburban and rural areas, community resistance has exploded. Homeowners associations, neighborhood groups, and local coalitions are actively pressuring city councils to remove RVs from streets. Some neighborhoods have raised tens of thousands of dollars to install barriers, steel fencing, or large boulders to physically prevent RVs from parking nearby. In 2025, over 300 U.S. cities received petitions demanding stricter enforcement against vehicle dwellers. In places like Seattle and San Diego, community groups host monthly meetings specifically addressing RV encampments, often calling them public safety threats. Some homeowners complain of increased trash, noise, or crime, while others simply do not want to see visible poverty near their properties. This creates intense social tension. RV residents feel hunted and unwelcome, while residents feel ignored by city officials. The conflict has escalated to confrontations, with documented cases of vandalism, tire slashing, and hostile encounters. Instead of compassion-driven solutions, the divide is widening. In many areas, public pressure is the driving force behind new laws that restrict overnight parking, expand tow authority, and fund enforcement operations. The result is a growing war between communities and the people who have nowhere else to go. Insurance has become another barrier for RV homeless individuals in 2025. Many major insurers now refuse to cover RVs used as full-time residences, citing increased risk. Others require premiums so high, often $180 to $300 per month, that low-income residents simply cannot afford them. Without insurance, an RV owner is vulnerable to catastrophic loss. A minor accident, fire, or theft can destroy the vehicle and everything inside it. Some states require proof of insurance for registration, meaning lapsed insurance can result in registration suspension, making the vehicle illegal to park on public roads and easier for authorities to tow. Even comprehensive policies often exclude older RVs, especially those valued under $5,000, which represent a large portion of the homeless population. Claims are frequently denied due to pre-existing damage, leaving residents with no compensation. For those lucky enough to maintain coverage, deductibles can range from $1,000 to $2,500, still unaffordable for many. The insurance crisis adds another layer of instability, making it nearly impossible for struggling RV residents to maintain legal, roadworthy homes. This pushes thousands closer to losing their only shelter, creating yet another obstacle in an already impossible situation for America's vehicle dwellers. Maintaining steady employment while living in an RV is far more difficult than most people realize. Workers without a permanent address face hiring challenges, since many job applications require proof of residence. In 2025, more than 40% of vehicle dwellers report losing jobs due to mobility issues, inconsistent sleep, or health problems triggered by unstable living conditions. Employers often misinterpret vehicle residency as instability, reducing opportunities. Many jobs require commuting, but with fuel prices so high, driving to work can consume 20 to 30% of a person's income. Unpredictable parking laws also force RV residents to move frequently, disrupting sleep schedules. Without secure overnight parking, many people sleep only 3 to 5 hours per night, affecting performance and reliability. Some RV residents rely on gig work, but these jobs often require functional GPS, internet, and phone service, all inconsistent in vehicle-based living. Once a job is lost, regaining employment becomes an uphill battle. This cycle traps people in poverty long after their initial housing issue began. The instability of RV living makes it nearly impossible to build the consistency employers expect, creating a vicious cycle that's difficult to escape. Financial security is incredibly fragile for people living in RVs. One unexpected expense, a towing fee, repair bill, or medical emergency, can wipe out savings instantly. In 2025, the average American doesn't have $500 in emergency funds, and RV residents often have even less. A single tow can cost $1,500 to $3,500, effectively erasing someone's home. Registration renewals, insurance payments, campground fees, and rising fuel prices create constant financial strain. Many RV homeless individuals spend 40 to 60% of their monthly income just trying to keep their vehicle legal and functional. If an RV becomes inoperable, cities classify it as abandoned and remove it within days, causing immediate homelessness. People also lose irreplaceable belongings, tools, ID documents, medications, sentimental items, increasing long-term hardship. Those living on disability, pensions, or gig income are especially vulnerable because their earnings fluctuate. A temporary setback can turn into a permanent loss of housing. Once the RV is gone, few can afford another one, forcing them into tents or shelters. This financial instability is why RV homelessness is growing faster than cities can measure. The margin for error is zero, and one bad day can mean losing everything. RV homelessness is not a fringe issue anymore. It's becoming a defining challenge of American life in 2025. Across the country, entire neighborhoods are transforming into unofficial RV zones. Cities like Denver, Portland, Austin, Phoenix, and Tampa report thousands of RVs lining streets, industrial parks, and vacant lots. National estimates show more than 3.5 million people now live in vehicles, a number projected to rise 20 to 25% by year's end. Factors driving this surge include rising rents, stagnant wages, layoffs, inflation, and the lack of affordable housing construction. Some cities have 2-year wait lists for low-income units and shelters operating at 95 to 100% capacity. With few alternatives, RV living becomes the default option for people who still work, pay taxes, and try to survive. The visibility of RV homelessness is changing public perception. What was once shocking is now common. In states like California, clusters of 50 to 80 RVs can be seen in a single stretch. Experts warn that without intervention, RV homelessness could surpass traditional street homelessness within a few years. What America is witnessing is not temporary. It is the new normal, a fundamental shift in how millions of people are forced to survive in modern America. What you just heard is happening in real time, and millions more could be pulled into it. Have you seen RV homelessness growing in your area? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't miss the next video, where we reveal the hidden laws giving cities the power to seize RVs overnight. See you there.